Narcissism is a term we hear often, but its true meaning is frequently misunderstood. It is more than just vanity or a love for selfies. It is a profound and damaging pattern of behavior that can leave deep scars on those who encounter it. Understanding this personality style is not just an academic exercise, it is a crucial skill for survival in our modern world. These individuals walk among us, often in positions of power in our families and in our social circles. They present a version of themselves that is often charming, confident, and captivating. This surface-level appeal makes the underlying reality so much more dangerous for everyone involved. At its core, narcissism is a personality pattern characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a striking lack of empathy for others. Think of it as a person living in a world where they are the only one who truly matters. Their needs, their feelings, and their desires always come first, and everyone else is merely a supporting character in their life's movie. This isn't just simple selfishness, it is a pervasive disregard for the emotional and psychological well-being of those around them. They operate from a place of deep insecurity, which they cover with a thick layer of arrogance and entitlement. The initial encounter with a narcissist can feel intoxicating. They often engage in something called love bombing. This is where they shower you with intense affection, compliments, and attention. It feels wonderful, like you have finally met someone who truly sees and appreciates you. They might tell you that you are the most amazing person they have ever met, or that you share a connection unlike any other. This phase is designed to draw you in and make you dependent on their validation. It is a carefully constructed illusion, a beautiful trap set to ensure you become a reliable source of their narcissistic supply, the admiration they desperately crave. This early stage is precisely why studying narcissism is so vital for your own protection. The charm is a tool, and the flattery is a weapon. When you are swept up in their initial grand performance, it is nearly impossible to see the red flags waving right in front of you. They are masters of first impressions, creating a narrative where they are the hero, the victim, or the misunderstood genius. Recognizing the patterns early on, understanding the mechanics of their behavior, and knowing what lies beneath the mask are essential steps in safeguarding your mental health and avoiding the inevitable pain that follows when their true nature is revealed. Once the initial charm of the love-bombing phase begins to fade, the narcissist's more harmful behaviors start to emerge from the shadows. One of the most common and damaging tactics is gaslighting. This is a form of psychological manipulation where the narcissist makes you question your own sanity, memory, or perception of reality. They will deny saying things you distinctly remember them saying. They might insist an event you both witnessed never happened. For example, after they insult you, they might later claim, "I never said that, you're being too sensitive," or "you're imagining things again." This relentless invalidation erodes your self-confidence and makes you feel unstable. Another hallmark behavior is their complete lack of genuine empathy. A narcissist is simply unable to put themselves in someone else's shoes and feel what they are feeling. If you are going through a difficult time, they may become impatient or annoyed that the focus is not on them. Imagine telling your partner you had a terrible day at work, and instead of offering comfort, they pivot the conversation to how their day was even worse or how your problem is inconveniencing them. This emotional emptiness means they are incapable of providing the support and connection that form the basis of any healthy relationship, leaving you feeling isolated and unimportant. Narcissists also exhibit a powerful sense of entitlement. They genuinely believe they deserve special treatment, unwavering admiration, and automatic compliance with their expectations. This can manifest in everyday situations, such as becoming enraged if a waiter does not give them the best table, or if a coworker receives praise they feel they deserved. They see rules as applying to other people, but not to them. This belief that they are above everything and everyone else allows them to justify exploiting others without any sense of guilt or remorse. They take what they want because, in their minds, they are entitled to it. Finally, a key behavior to watch for is the cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard. First, they idealize you, putting you on a pedestal as the perfect partner or friend. Then, once they have you secured, the devaluation begins. They start to criticize, belittle, and undermine you, chipping away at your self-esteem. Nothing you do is ever good enough. Eventually, when you are no longer a useful source of admiration or have started to push back, they may discard you in a cold and callous manner. This cycle is incredibly destructive, leaving you feeling confused, worthless, and emotionally shattered by the experience. The primary reason it is so difficult to see the narcissist's harmful side at first is their mastery of impression management. They are chameleons, capable of projecting an image of whatever they think you want to see. If you value intelligence, they will present as a brilliant intellectual. If you admire compassion, they will perform grand gestures of charity and kindness. This carefully curated persona is their public-facing brand, designed to attract allies and admirers. They are often popular, successful, and well-liked within their communities, which makes it even harder for their victims to be believed when they try to speak out about the abuse happening behind closed doors. Furthermore, the intermittent reinforcement they provide creates a powerful psychological bond, similar to a gambling addiction. The cycle of good days and bad days keeps you hooked. After a period of cruelty and devaluation, the narcissist will often revert to the charming, attentive person you first met. They might offer a hollow apology or a grand romantic gesture, giving you a glimmer of hope that things will get better. This brief return to the good times releases dopamine in your brain, reinforcing the connection and making it incredibly difficult to leave. You find yourself constantly waiting for the next win, ignoring the overwhelming pattern of losses. Another layer of their deception is their skill at triangulation. Narcissists love to create drama by bringing a third person into the dynamic. They will compare you unfavorably to an ex-partner, a friend, or even a stranger to make you feel insecure and competitive for their affection. They might also tell different stories to different people, pitting them against each other while they maintain control from the center. This tactic serves to isolate you from potential support systems. If you try to complain to a mutual friend, that friend may have already been fed a narrative where you are the unstable one, further invalidating your reality. Ultimately, we are often conditioned to see the good in people, and we struggle to accept that someone who can be so charming can also be so malicious. We make excuses for their behavior, telling ourselves they are just stressed, had a difficult childhood, or do not mean what they say. This cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort of holding two conflicting beliefs, is what keeps many people trapped. It is easier to believe their apologies and promises than to face the terrifying reality that the person you love or admire is intentionally causing you harm. Their ability to exploit our own empathy and optimism is their greatest weapon. The first and most crucial step in protecting yourself from a narcissist is education. You must learn to recognize the red flags for what they are, not as quirks or signs of a passionate personality, but as warnings of a destructive pattern. Understand the concepts of love bombing, gaslighting, and devaluation. When you can name the manipulative tactics being used against you, they lose much of their power. Knowledge is your armor. It allows you to see their behavior with clarity instead of through the fog of confusion and emotional manipulation they create. Read books, watch videos, and listen to experts who describe these patterns in detail. Once you have identified a narcissist in your life, setting firm and unwavering boundaries is non-negotiable. Narcissists are boundary pushers by nature. They will constantly test your limits to see what they can get away with. You must decide what behaviors you will and will not tolerate and then communicate those limits clearly and concisely. For example, you might say, "I will not continue this conversation if you are yelling at me," and then follow through by walking away if the yelling continues. Expect resistance and anger as they do not like being told no, but consistency is key to reclaiming your space and sanity. For relationships where you are deeply enmeshed, such as with a family member or a long-term partner, it is often necessary to limit or sever contact. Low contact involves reducing the frequency and emotional depth of your interactions. You keep conversations brief, superficial, and focused on logistics. For more toxic and harmful dynamics, no contact is the most effective strategy. This means blocking them on all platforms: phone, social media, email, and ceasing all communication. This may seem extreme, but it is often the only way to break the cycle of abuse and begin the healing process in earnest. It is an act of self-preservation. Finally, and most importantly, focus on rebuilding your own sense of self. Narcissistic abuse erodes your self-esteem and makes you doubt your own judgment. Reconnect with who you are outside of that toxic relationship. Lean on a strong support system of trusted friends, family, or a qualified therapist who understands narcissistic dynamics. Engage in hobbies and activities that bring you joy and a sense of accomplishment. Healing is a journey, not a destination. By prioritizing your well-being and arming yourself with knowledge and strong boundaries, you can protect yourself from the evil within and step back into the light of your own life.